Hi, this is Carolyn James from Holistic Campus, and I have with me here today a founding practitioner, Kristi Borst. And Kristi is an energy and emotional healer and a spiritual counselor. Welcome, Kristi.
Thank you, Carolyn.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about what all that means?
I have natural abilities for helping others to release that which no longer serves them. And this is across multi-dimensions of the person, whether it's mind, body, spirit, emotions, or the energy body.
Oh, wonderful. So when someone comes to you, how are they attracted to you? Are they coming for something specifically, or how does that work?
There's really a range, Carolyn. It could be somebody that just is feeling stuck and they don't know what to do next. It may be somebody that's been trying to let old trauma go, but they just can't forgive or release or heal. It may be somebody that is having physical pain and the traditional therapies aren't helping that, or they know that perhaps they've been told they need to have surgery and that just doesn't feel right for them, so they want to get to the root of what might be actually causing that physical discomfort. It could be somebody that's been in depression for a number of years or experiencing anxiety, and even somebody with relationship problems.
Now, let me ask you, Kristi, so if someone has had depression, is there a lingering effect to that? I know when you think about therapy, often it's the mind or it's antipsychotic drugs or whatever they are, but is there still something left in that could often need to be released?
What I've found with people that are that come to me in a depressive state, or they've been told they have a major depressive disorder, there's usually something that has happened in their lifetime that may actually be repressed. And so there is a actual incident that may have happened in their lifetime that they're not remembering. Or it could be that there's a part of them that's not fully connected in with their divine perfection. Mm-hmm. And the work that I do helps connect people into that divine perfection and almost to rise above that story of pain or struggle or not being able to really connect with the joy. The joy is there. It's just kind of beneath a bunch of
other stuff.
Oh,
that's so interesting, because when you said something earlier about when traditional therapy or whatever doesn't work, because you're dealing with a whole nother aspect. Are you dealing with their higher selves? Who are you healing with, I guess?
That's a difficult question. The sessions I do, Carolyn, are so diverse and so specifically unique for the person that I'm working with. So in some cases, it may be that the moment I lay hands on a person, and I say lay hands both literally and figuratively because I can do the work over the phone, but sometimes the moment I lay hands on the person, they actually have that memory come to them of what wants to be healed. In other cases, it may be on the second session, something comes through that this is tied to a past life. In another person, we may not even know what the root cause is emotionally, intellectually, consciously, that whatever that burden is just lifts. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not, it's fascinating.
Yeah. Sounds it. So how did you get into all this? How did this start?
Uh, I guess it was in the early 2010s. I started getting on my own metaphysical path, and that journey, about a 3-year journey, I kind of call it my journey back to self with a capital S. Um, just I became more mindful, and I had a series of really incredible events, which started with driving down the highway in Maine where I live. And there were cars on either side of my car and cars behind me. And in the distance, I could see an eagle flying. And I love birds. So I was watching it. And sure enough, it came and it landed in the travel lane in front of my car.
Oh,
And so I knew I couldn't stop. And so I basically just kind of instinctually talked to the eagle with my mind and said, please fly up because I can't avoid hitting you and I don't want to hurt you. And it actually started running toward my car. And I had a minivan at that point, and it flew up my windshield.
oh,
And it woke something up in me. And through this kind of spiritual awakening that I had, as I said, it was a 3-year process. I came back to a memory of healing myself physically when I was a 3-year-old
oh.
and being told to never do that again. And I was such a good girl that I
You never did it again until then.
I shut it down.
Yeah.
And I always was an empathetic person, and the person that people would come to when they were upset, growing up in school. So at that point of the memory, I basically asked to release any contracts with my dad that I had, agreeing to shut down my abilities. And at that point, things really just blossomed. And I don't have any animosity toward my dad. I know that it was my challenge to myself to to be hidden, and let's see if I can get back to myself. Yeah. So since 2013, I've been offering this healing resonance work. I call my process perspective reboot, because many times people can turn 180 degrees in one session and really just get back to that that inner peace, that joy, that divine perfection that really is inherent in all of us. And the physical body is really an incredible piece of work. And it strives to be healthy and whole. And when blocks are released, when traumas are released, when wounded child selves are healed, the body just takes over and does its work and heals.
It's beautiful. And I know you and I are going to do a little work. So
yes, I'm excited about that.
Excuse me. Is there anything else you want to share before we go?
I just would like to thank people who have come to my page and looked at this for being interested. And this site has a lot of wonderful people here, and everyone needs to find that person that speaks to them, that resonates with them, and learning to follow our inner knowing is where we're at right now. We've not been taught, most of us, how to follow our gut, how to trust our intuition. So again, that's kind of part of what I do is helping people get in touch with that part of themselves. So.
Yeah. And everyone is so talented, and it's just a wonderful group. And I know and talking with so many people, they're just excited to be able to work together with other practitioners to heal the whole soul, as we say. And it's just all out there. So I'm very glad you're part of it, dear.
Oh, thank you. Well, as I said in our one-to-one conversation earlier, as one person heals, it heals the whole, because we're all connected.
Yeah.
The separation is a part of the illusion of this earthly reality.
Exactly. All right, beautiful, dear. We'll talk in a minute.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.